have been using Claude Cowork almost every day for 2 months, not just to test it for a video, but for actual client work and for my own projects. And today I'm going to give you a real breakdown of what it does best, where it falls short, and whether you should add it in your workflow. When I started using it, I only had one question. Does this actually save me time as a freelance growth marketer? I have tested several use cases, and today I will share four. First, LinkedIn scraping, then invoice organization, building a customized SEO plugin for your client, and finally making thumbnails with Canva. Each use case, I will tell you if Cowork actually made a difference or not. Okay, so let's start with the first use case, which is going to be preparing for a sales call. So I have a telephone where new leads come in, and before a call, I want to know who I'm talking to. So what's their background, what they're working on, and how my offer could be relevant to them. So for this video, I'm using Greg Eisenberg as an example. He's not one of my clients. I just don't want to use a real client data on camera, and his public profile works well for the demo. So the task is pretty simple. So have Claude read a Google Sheet with the lead info, research their LinkedIn and website, and then produce talking point and suggested questions. Mm, So for this, we're going to be needing the Claude extension to be able to interact with the spreadsheet using Chrome. Let's go ahead and start the task. Um, while it's starting, let's check the current session usage. Okay, we are 27. I want to see how much this task is going to consume usage tokens. So let's go back. Okay, so Cowork seems to be having some trouble finding the sheet, so I'm going to copy paste the URL directly. Let's see if this works. Okay, it's working now, so it's asking me to log in into the Claude for Chrome extension, and it's now opening the sheet. Okay. So now it's going to go through the list, the to-do list it has made, and handle the research. So let's wait until the research is over. So something to notice here is that Cowork is not just reading the sheet, but it's also interacting with it. So it's, as I asked, it's checked off the research done box thanks to the Chrome extension. So that's a very interesting feature of Claude extension, being able to interact with websites. Okay, so the output is ready. Let's look at it. So the quick bio is pretty basic. I mean, nothing I couldn't find myself in a few seconds. But the talking points and the suggested questions are more specific. They're pretty relevant to what I do and to who Greg is, and it's actually something I could use um, before a call, so I'm pretty satisfied with the output. So this took around 16 minutes, and let's check the session usage now, 51. So it means that task used 24% usage tokens. So that's not that much, considering how research heavy the task was. Now let's run the same task in the regular Claude Chat. Chat seems to be having trouble opening the document directly. Okay, so it's using an alternative method. Just look through documents used in Drive directly instead of just accessing sheet URL. Okay, well, it seems to be working as right now I'm not controlling the screen. Claude is searching and has clicked on the spreadsheet by itself. Okay. Mm, okay, now it's doing the research work, and instead of using the Claude for Chrome extension to access the LinkedIn and website of Greg Eisenberg, it's using the N8 integration. Well, it works, so I don't mind. Okay, so contrary to Cowork, your code seems to be having a little more trouble checking off the checkbox in column H, but okay, it finally managed to do it. And the output is ready, so let's check it out. So the output, as you can see, is pretty similar to what Cowork produced. The only thing I noticed as different is that the chat version picked up on a recent post that Greg Eisenberg published and got a lot of attention, which isn't in Cowork's output. So I would say that this output is the better one and it wins. However, the fact that the output is better is maybe because I ran Cowork first, and then since Claude keeps memory across session, it's possible that this chat session had access to what Cowork had already found. So that's maybe why chat output is better, but all in all, I would say that for this task, the Claude chat wins. Um, Okay, so now let's check how much usage this task took. So I'm running this on a different day, and this is my first task of the day. So, okay, we have used 18% of our sessions usage, which is a little less than Cowork, which used 24%. So, yeah, Claude Chat is the clear winner here. So let's try a second use case, which is going to be going through invoices from 2024 for tax purposes. So as you can see, I have a folder of zip files, and the task is to unzip everything, read through the invoices, and then produce a yearly summary in a spreadsheet. So let's go ahead with the task. Okay, so it has ran pretty smoothly, very quickly in 6 minutes, with no errors. So let's check the output. It's exactly what I asked for, no errors. I'm thoroughly satisfied. Now let's try the same thing in chat. Chat seems to be having a lot of trouble accessing my files. Trying to use some workarounds, but yeah, it's not working as smoothly as Claude Cowork. And okay, we're 60 minutes in, and it failed. So this one is not even close. Cowork clearly wins, and from experience, so when the task involves working with files on your computer, Cowork is the best for that. So Cowork is the clear winner here. Okay, so now for the third use case, we are going to build a customized SEO research plugin, and this is where Cowork really stands out, as you can only use plugins with Cowork. So what's the big difference between Claude Chat and Claude Cowork? Well, in Claude Chat, every conversation is a one-off and you have to restart and reprompt from scratch. And what a Cowork plugin can do is turn Claude into a permanent AI agent that remembers your rules and uh, autonomously handles every step of a complex task in one go. Also, Cowork can actually read and create files directly on your computer. So, to show you the real power of Cowork, let's turn my entire SEO optimization process into a custom plugin. So I've broken this down into four specific skills. First, mining Google Search Console for keywords that have high impressions but a low CTR, and then using AP5 to scrape competitors of that are present in that on that keyword in Google. Third, drafting the content, and the fourth, the most important step, which is running a brand voice audit to make sure it actually sounds like the way I or my coworkers write. Now, if I did this in Claude Chat, I'd be manually prompting for every single one of those steps. But by building a Cowork plugin, I'm creating a permanent AI agent. It runs the entire sequence from start to finish without me ever having to reprompt, and that's what's interesting here. So I've taken my basic notes and turned them into detailed inscriptions for each skill, defining exactly what Claude needs to do and what files it needs to output. But before we build the plugin in Cowork, we need the right tools. So I already have API connected, so I'm going to install this Google Search Console MCP connector first. I'm going to speed this up and go quickly over this because the creator of the plugin has already made a very good video about how to install, the creator of the MCP has made a good video about how to install this Google Search Console MCP. Basically, first I'm connecting to the Google Search Console API with a service account, and then I'm adding the MCP server configuration to my local Claude desktop configuration file. Okay, so now we can get to building the plugin. So I'm going to provide the instructions I have outlined before and let Cowork build a first generic draft of the plugin, and then I make changes to make sure the plugin fits my need. Okay, now that the first draft is done, we can go ahead and modify the plugin. This can take some time, but it's necessary if you want the output to be great. My advice is to keep going until you're satisfied with the output and do it for all skills. I'm going to only modify the four skills on camera for the sake of saving time. And it's also the most important because this will be the judge skill that will judge if the output is good enough for the brand voice of the company am making the plugin for. Okay, so now we're finally done. We've installed the plugin and we can try it. So it's starting up. As you can see, it has connected to the GSC server MCP, so it means that I can retrieve the keywords. And it's now following the four-step process I've outlined previously. I'm bearing information because, well, since SEO is competitive, this could be used by competitors, but so it has found what I asked, the top 3 low CTR opportunity keywords. And as you can see on the right side of the screen with the progress to-do list, Claude runs every single step on its own. I don't intervene at any point, but this is a choice I made when I built the plugin. If you want more control over the output, like having Claude ask for your input before moving on, you can do that. I didn't because I really wanted an automated one-shot process, but it's possible. And for example, look at what's happening here. Um, Thanks to the brand voice audit skill, Claude is actually judging its own output, then rewriting the article to match the site's tone. And there we go, the final article is ready, the output is in French, and I'm going to actually use it, so I'd rather not show it on screen, but I just wanted to show you how you can build an entire plugin from scratch. So this took less than 20 minutes, 5 minutes to build the plugin, and then 10 minutes for the actual output, so the plugin to run and to build the article. And I will drop the barebone instructions I showed earlier in the description, but to actually make it work for you, you need to go to the process and adapt the skills to, well, your website, to your brand, to your needs. And for me, that's the real power of Cowork plugin. They are fairly customizable, they're multi-agent, and they also have memories of your processes thanks to the skills. And you can instead of running one skill at a time, you can run complex processes, as you can just like assemble all of your skills together, and then you can well run, for example, for my case, SEO, but this can also be used for content creation, or I don't know, accounting, well, whatever use case you have. And so this is a way more efficient way to run entire processes than using chat. And in this case, well, since you cannot use plugins with a Cowork chat, it is clear that Cowork wins. Okay, let's go ahead with our third use case, which is going to be creating YouTube thumbnail in Canva. So the idea is to have Claude analyze existing thumbnail on YouTube, identify what's consistent visually, and apply that style to a Canva template. First, let's add the Canva connector. Okay, so we will need that connector to access our existing Canva designs and to modify them. Okay, perfect. The connector is added. Before we start the task, let's check the session usage. Okay, we are 59%, so let's see where we are at when we finish with the task. Okay, back to Cowork. Okay, as you can see, for some reason here, I'm struggling to use the Claude for Chrome extension. It's not working. So I am going to apply a fix I found on Reddit, and this involves modifying the Claude desktop app files. So I found this fix on Reddit. Be careful with using random fixes you find on Reddit in Claude Code, because you're actually modifying files on your computer. Make sure that you read and understand what's changing before you approve it. But in this case, the fix worked. I will include the the URL in the description box if you ever run into the same problem and you want to try it. Okay, so now it's running. It has managed to open YouTube and it's looking through a different thumbnail. And now it's opening my Canva designs, and it has found the correct template. So it's currently modifying it. Okay, well, the thumbnail is ready. Let's check it out. Firstly, only the text has been updated. I was hoping that it would do more, for example, changing logos or the image positioning. And the only thing that has changed is the text, and it's not even formatted properly. So the task is complete, but the result is not great, and I need to manually fix it. And as for session usage, we went from 59% to 83%. So 22% session usage for this task, including the debugging using Claude Code to fix the extension. Okay, so now let's try to do the same task in chat. Since YouTube is already open, it's running more smoothly. Okay, as you can see, I've run out of token halfway through, so I'm going to be needed to use some extra usage to finish. And now the output is ready as well. Let's check it out. So again, only the text has changed. So the thumbnail is exactly the same regarding the background and the logos. But this time, I would have to say that the text has better formatting compared to the other one who was just all over the place. So I would say that for this one, chat has a slight edge on output quality, even though both outputs are far from perfect and would require a lot of manual revisions. Okay, so we are done with the 4 use cases, and here's what I take away. So Cowork has a clear advantage when the task involves local files. For example, the invoices. Chat couldn't finish it when Cowork did it in like 6 minutes. And then there's the plugin use case, which is entirely a different category because it's not about files or browser control. It's about running a multi-step, multi-agent process without babysitting it. So Claude is auditing its own output, rewriting it, and pulling data from external MCPs. That's not something that you can do as easily in chat as you have to reprompt, go back and forth. So here, Cowork has a real advantage as it handles sequencing and you don't have to do it. The big trade-off between Cowork and Chat is that Cowork is slower. It uses more session tokens and it's heavier on the machine. My computer tends to slow down when I use Cowork for a long period of time, but I guess that's to be expected. Chat is more efficient when the task doesn't need a file access or a complex sequence of steps. The output quality is comparable in most cases and it uses fewer tokens. And one thing to note is that browser interaction works in both as long as you have the Chrome extension installed. So my takeaway is that these are two different tools. If your task involves files or a multi-step automated workflow, you can use Cowork, and if it's a research or writing task, chat will be probably faster and lighter. And that's it for my Cowork review. If you have been using Cowork for something else I haven't mentioned in the video, please share it in the comments. I'm really curious about how you guys are using Cowork, and as always, all the resources mentioned will be in the description. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe because I post a video about AI tool and automation every month, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.